expressed by the host or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis. And breaking scoreboard, Simone of the Olympics. Defense and big business, the Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the 3 in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bell in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host DeeTrynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host DeeTrynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. I'm Talk Sports with the Game Changer. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk in the Street Sports. Man, what's really good? All right. I'm on my rough, rugged shit right now because we about to get rough and rugged. All right. It has been a crazy time for us with this football team. We got a lot of excitement coming with the, I will say expectations, even though that's not the word I want to use. But expectations for these Cleveland Cavaliers. And, man, these Guardians, boy, these Guardians just been going ham. A record of 90 and 69. Look at them. You feel me? Playoff bound. Hunt for Red October. So, is this the year that we finally get a baseball championship in Cleveland? Do we get multiple pennants? I mean, look, the way what's my guy name? Quan leading off, swinging the bat. Naylor coming on. Jose do what he do. All right, our pitching though, they've been coming along. Savall. You already know what Bieber and Tristan McKenzie do. You know what I'm saying? Clase closing like crazy. Some might argue that the Guardians may not have enough offensive firepower to last with some of these teams, but they damn sure got the defense. They play smart baseball, smart base running. They play together as a team. So as far as I'm concerned, y'all, look, these boys ready for action, all right? But I'm gonna encourage everybody to get behind these Guardians, right? Cleveland lit when all the sports teams is lit. You ain't never been downtown Cleveland when Progressive and Rocket Mortgage and First Energy rocking all on the same weekend, you about to get a chance to see it. All right. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. All right. And the elephant in the room right now is these Browns, man. You know what? No, I know what's going on. All right. I know what's going on. And a lot of us, we want to blame the play calling on the offensive defense, situational awareness, the lack of being able to close in the fourth quarter, which is probably the biggest issue out of all of this. We was mad at Baker last year because when we needed him to show up in the clutch, he just hasn't. And arguably that could be said to a small degree about Jacoby with, his late game opportunities to pull off some heroics, and in both opportunities he didn't throw interceptions. But I'm not down on Jacoby right now. I think for the most part he's played pretty good.
I feel like he's been put in some situations that he necessarily shouldn't have been into. But for the most part, he has played very well. Hold on, I'm sharing right now, so just give me a second while I share. I'm about to give all y'all my undivided attention. Because these Browns, man, they got the whole Browns community on the edge of their seat. I'm not sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but it is a thing nonetheless. Okay, so let's get into this last game. The Browns go into this trap game, and a lot of people that I was chopping it with, we was getting ready for this game, was talking about how, because of recent escapades with this Browns and their defense, throw the ball 60. Native King said most definitely. Scully was good. Native was good. Scully say throw the ball 60 times to Amari. Look, I mean, I don't know if I want Jacoby throwing the ball 60 times though. Like, I don't know if that's but I'm gonna tell y'all what Cleveland's main problem is. All right. And it'll be an article dropping soon to just go into more detail about this. But the Browns lack an identity, y'all. This is the base of their issue. All right. They lack an identity. They don't know who they are. People will say the Browns run the ball more than they pass the ball. And that's really not true. They're really even. To me, which is the issue, that is even. I think that reflects that they don't know who they are. And because of that, you're having a lot of erratic play with the team. And that's in all three phases of the game. Now, with this Atlanta game, the defense was hindered. All right. I don't mind getting on Joe Woods' back, but when you ain't got the talent available to really do what you need to do, it makes things hard. So coming out of the Steelers game, right, we had lost Anthony Walker and Jadeveon Clowney. Now, some people may think, all right, Jadeveon's significant, but so is Anthony Walker, because those are arguably our two best run stoppers on this defense. Anthony's going for the year, and Jadeveon is basically week to week. All right. So now you got to have other guys trying to step in that role. So basically, it's kind of like Jacob Phillips and Sione Takitaki, because after those, it was like the next best run stoppers. And it's corny because our leading tacklers on our team is our safeties. So just off that alone, that tells you that the running backs is getting into the second and third levels too often. Now, a crazy stat. Through the first three quarters, the Browns have the seventh best defense in the NFL. Through three quarters. In the fourth quarter, they like the 27th best team in the NFL. That is a drastic drop from 1 minute to the next, because the third quarter ends on quadruple zeros and the fourth quarter starts on 15 minutes. This is only a couple, 10 minutes in real time. So in this little 10-minute span, y'all go from playing really good to sucking, which makes no sense at all. All right. Joe Woods in this Atlanta game did things that I didn't thought he wouldn't do. Right. I produced an article about this 5-on-5 defense that I think fits more of what he's trying to do with the defense. I seen him run that. I seen him run a 5-2. I seen him do a bear. I seen him, like, he tried to do so many different things. But at the end of the day, when you don't have the talent, it does not matter. It does not matter what play you call. There's no play you can call for people who can't make open field tackles. JOK, I love you. As a Browns linebacker, as a guy who can do multiple things, I really love your game. I feel like you are misused to a degree. Yeah, we is. InDaStreetzSportz game changer taking over this year. You already know, Scully. Um, but Perrion played, and the few plays I seen him in, he was doing his thing. Jordan Elliott played, and he made some noise this game, which is so crazy. He made crazy noise this game. But for some reason, man, they could not stop Atlanta's running game. And this crazy part was, it wasn't even Cordero Patterson who was the one going crazy. It wasn't him. It was the whole unit. Like JOK missed like 4 sacks in the backfield. Now understand, Marcus Mariota is a slippery guy. Of course, it's hard to catch sometimes. But Marcus Mariota completed 7 passes out of 19 attempts. 2 interception. And the Browns lost the game. All right? So let's get into this identity crisis thing, which is the issue. Let's start with Joe Woods in the defense. All right? What is the philosophy? What is it? Because from my understanding, if you're going to play to the strength of your secondary, which is man-to-man defense, being able to take the ball away and take away opportunities to make big plays in their receiving game, then usually that means you have an aggressive front seven that loves getting after the quarterback. The problem is the play calling don't reflect that, right? There's too many times that there's 5 defensive backs on the field and there are no blitzing going on whatsoever. Or you're blitzing guys that are not good at tackling. I don't want to see Greg Newsome blitzing. I don't want to see Denzel Ward blitzing. I don't want to see Martin Emerson blitzing. That is not their strengths. Grant Delpit, John Johnson III, JOK, Ronnie Harrison. These are guys that you could use to blitz. Let these other guys stay in the secondary where they can really help. Now, Greedy Williams should be coming back this week. So Greedy Williams should be coming back this week, which probably should help out the secondary a lot. And I say that because Greedy plays the outside, right? Him and Denzel Ward. And Greg Newsome is to play the slot. But with Greedy out, Newsome has to play more of the outside, and then Emerson has to come in and try to play the outside to move Greg Newsome inside. The safeties is like where I'm not understanding. Now, over the years since Joe Woods has been here, his defenses have got significantly better as the season progresses. So I have no reason to believe, and Native King say all 3 backs, huh? I have no reason to believe that the defense won't get better. But it's the philosophy. This defense is not aggressive enough. It's not. It's not the attacking defense that was promised to us in the offseason, which you can pull up the footage, and Joe Woods said, all right, we going to attack, stop the run, force them to pass. But you can't stop the run like that if you only rushing 4 guys at a time. All right? If you're not using guys to help open it up for your playmakers. And as you can see, if you want to join in, you feel me, DeeTrynt, Game Sports Talk, Street Sports. We're streaming on multiple social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You can follow us on all of those as well, Instagram as well, all right? You see the link, whatever platform you on viewing this, if you see the link and you want to come up, feel free to hit the link. We let you come up and talk your thing. This is what we do, all right? But like, they are not aggressive, right? And it was something that was said in the Twitter Spaces. I don't know, I can't remember exactly who said it, but my Cleveland Twitter Spaces go so hard. And personality reflects a lot. If you play an aggressive style of defense on a consistent, then your players automatically think to be aggressive. It's second nature because this is what we're used to playing all game. When you play passive or in between, you don't know, that is what starts the confusion. This is what starts the miscommunication. All right. Now, Anthony Walker was the defensive captain as far as calling the plays, making sure everybody was lined up right. Now he's gone. In my opinion, John Johnson should have immediately took over that role because he's done this with a Super Bowl team, a Super Bowl defense. So he should have automatically took over that role. But for some reason, they gave it to Jacob Phillips. Now, I'm not mad per se that they gave it to Jacob because I like Jacob Phillips and I think he's going to become a very good linebacker. But he isn't where I think he's going to end up right now. He's just now actually playing a full season without some type of mishap with his health. So I don't think that's the responsibility you should be putting on him. He should be limited. You do this and you do that. Because this, you doing this helps the defense. You feel what I'm saying? What helps the rest of the defense. John Johnson should be calling a signal. Grant Delpit played really good against the Falcons. He played a lot better in coverage that he's been playing all year, and he's continuing to be an impact player in the run game. Right. The problem is he the only standout in the run game. You know what I'm saying? Jadeveon and Miles don't even have 10 whole tackles for the year, which makes no sense whatsoever. All right. But the identity crisis, who does this fall on? Is it really Joe Wood's fault that the team has an identity crisis? Because it's three phases to the game. It's defense, it's special teams, and it's offense, right? And when the whole team is having a lot of inconsistencies, this falls on the head coach. Now, I'm not the guy calling for Kevin Stefanski's job, but I do feel like he has to insert himself more in the whole team's ideology. What is the defense you want to complement your offense? And the biggest question is, what is your offense, bro? What is your offense? Nick Chubb is almost by far the elite back. I ain't gonna even say he's an elite back. I was gonna say by far the best, but it's a lot of good running backs out here, so I ain't gonna say that, including the backup on our team. But I feel like if we're going to be aggressive, as Kevin Stefanski calls the plays, it should reflect that. For one, it's way too much motion in this offense. I like the motion because the motion tells the defense. It tells on the defense. You know, you bring a weapon from the left side, the right side to the left side, or the left side to the right side, the defense has to shift. This lets you know if they're playing man or they're playing zone. All right? We have a running game that cannot be stopped. Okay? This running game averages 190, I think it's like 180 now, 190 yards a game. You got two running backs that literally could lead the league in rushing as number one backs on anybody's team. Why is Kareem Hunt always going out for passes? I understand that he can catch. Say, hey, Scully say Chubb the best running back in the league at this minute. You know what I'm saying? And I won't debate that because the dude is a tank He don't know how to fall backwards. He only falls forward. And the first guy don't tackle him. He has 32 forced missed tackles in 4 games. And the closest dude to him is 22. Just to show you the separation, right? Kareem Hunt is a dog. You know, my cousin said something. Shout out to Montana. My cousin said something that was really interesting. And he said, bro, he said, man, people just fall off Kareem Hunt. They just run up the tackling and they just bounce off of him. He got this like unorthodox style, but for some reason people just bounced off him. And he's slippery, slithery. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb should be guaranteed 20 touches a game. I don't care if it's a mixture of run and pass. Both of these players should get 20 touches a game. This is non-debatable. When you're not going to Chubb, you should be using your play action to go to Amari. And when you're not going to Hunt, you should be using your play action to go to Njoku. This is how the dynamics, in my opinion, should work. But sometimes Kevin Stefanski outthinks himself. Okay? In the first half, he'll have, this is what I know about football, and adjustments in game and adjustments throughout the game. Okay? If my offense runs certain pass plays where certain routes are torching the defense, right? I'm going to continue to run these routes until they stop them. But I'm going to run them out of different packages, right? So if I'm running crossers and that's working and I start off running the crossers from a 3 wide set, all right, maybe then I might run the crossers from a tight set next. Maybe I might run them from 3 tight ends. Maybe I might run it with 2 running backs. It's just different, and I might motion my crosser from the backfield, all right? It's not enough combinations of this. I don't know why you don't see Njoku and Hunt in the backfield on pass plays in shotgun formation. Do you know how unguardable that is? And I like David Njoku. He goes spreading out. I'm not too mad at him because he's getting used to being a prominent option in this offense. But you got to use him right, and you got to make sure you're using him to help the rest of the team. If David Njoku is coming out the backfield on a shotgun play for a pass, he is taking the attention of quite a few people, whether it be the linebacker or the extra defensive back, whichever one it is. He's taking that attention. If you bring Kareem Hunt out, he's taking that attention. So Amari Cooper should eat every game because Amari Cooper is unguardable one-on-one. I'm watching this game, and I see plays where Jacoby Brissett don't even look in Amari Cooper's direction. Is that by design, or is that just Jacoby? That's something I need to know. Because when you got a number 1 receiver, you should be looking at him every play. Every play. How do you go from David Njoku and Amari Cooper having what they have? 16 catches. Was it 16? Yeah. It was 16 catches for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just on a Thursday on 4 days rest. So how are you on 10 days rest and neither one of these guys will clip 100 yards receiving? How does that work? Something else that happened in this Atlanta game. The offensive line stopped blocking. Last time I checked, I didn't remember Atlanta having a dominant front 4. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, they're rebuilding that front 4. How is Wyatt Teller getting blew off the line and pushed 3 yards in the backfield? How? People give Jedrick Willis a lot of flack, but as a young guy who's still trying to find his way, I'm not tripping on him because I think he played more good than he does bad. And at 23 years old, 24 years old, bro, I ain't asking you to be the superstar unless it's already in. But he wasn't picked as a left tackle to be the stud lineman. He was picked to be a good blocker. Scully said they're not using the play action right for Joe and Amari. And you right, that line fell apart in the fourth quarter. Bro, that line on both sides of the ball, bro, outside of Jordan Elliott and Perion Winfrey, Tommy Togiai, and Alex Wright sometimes. But Tommy Togiai, Isaiah Thomas, these guys were getting blew off the line. They were getting manhandled, especially when Atlanta went like 14 plays where they only ran the ball and they scored twice. They did not attempt a pass. They didn't even act like they was going to pass. They lined up and they put a hat on the hat. And they basically bullied the Browns. Right? Now, what's so crazy is, even through all that, the Browns still could have won the game. They were not out of it. They still could have won the fucking game. But for some reason, they couldn't pull it off. I don't understand. Okay? I'm still seeing starters playing special teams. Why? Your special teams unit is for the guys who don't start, who rotate in, so they can still have some playing time and get in the flow of the game. Okay? When you use your starters, your dominant starters, your playmaking starters on special teams, this ain't the fucking video game. This ain't Madden. You can't turn the energy off and they can just run all game. It don't fucking work like that. All right? Excuse my French. It just don't work like that, man. When it's special teams time, you should have your backups on the field. I would rather like to see Martin Emerson and AJ Green lined up on field goal blocks on the edges than Denzel Ward and John Johnson III. I shouldn't see Grant Delpit back there. JOK is a starter, and so is Jacob Phillips. I shouldn't see them on special teams. So coming into this Brown season, if y'all don't know, if y'all ain't caught it, if this is your first time tuning in, I appreciate you viewing. Make sure you try to come back as often as possible. You know what I'm saying? I came into the season with no expectations for the Browns. I didn't expect anything. It's so many different things going on with this team, just from a outside noise standpoint and an internal standpoint, that I didn't think it was even right for me to expect anything out of it. On top of the caveat, the most important part is the Browns organization has never been this consistent. Not in this millennium, not in this century. They haven't been this consistent. When have you ever known the Browns team to come back 3 consecutive seasons with the same coaching staff, the same front office staff, and the same playmakers? You haven't. So this is just, I don't got no expectations. I just want to see them play hard and leave it all out on the field. But they have an identity crisis. The identity for this team, Native King say best in our division. The whole, three of us tied. Bengals, Browns, Ravens all sit at 2-2. And I'm going to say this, bro. Now, if you don't know, you know that the Ravens is just the former Browns from the 90s. All right? That's all that regime is. It's the 90s version before they took the team. Why are they winning and losing the same weeks? Why? Okay? Understand what I'm saying. The Browns lost to the Jets, and the Jets came back and won that game. The same week, the Ravens lost to the Dolphins. The Dolphins came back to win that game. This game, Now, mind you, in those games, it was 31-30 for the Browns and Jets. And it was, what the fuck was that? It was 42-35 for the Ravens and Dolphins. Then in this week 4, the Browns lose 23-20. Guess what the Ravens lost? 23-20. Why? So that is a game that is circled on my calendar. Is this first meeting with the Ravens? That should be interesting. All right. But this Browns identity should be running down your throat, or it should be running backs till you can't stop them, and then play action to our receiving threats. This defense should be attacking in the front 7, like all out onslaught, and it should allow our man coverage D-backs. And I say man coverage because that's majority of our secondary excels in man coverage. Right? So you should be cool with them running a lot of man because you should be able to get a lot of penetration. Right? It's only 5 blockers on the line. If you got multiple dudes on your line, on your defensive line, that should be able to take up 2 blockers. Like one guy takes up 2 blockers. There should be no reason in hell that you can't get consistent pressure on the quarterback. Now, I'll give Joe Woods credit. He designs pressure for the quarterbacks. But for some reason, the players don't execute the defense the way he called it. Okay? Mariota had multiple broken plays that turned positive because of bad decision making by the incoming tackle. You know, when you tackle, it's just not about getting your body on their body and bringing them to the ground, right? On defense, there's a thing called game tackling. Game tackling is the essence of tackling. Why do I say that? Because when you tackle, it's about cutting off things for the ball carrier. Like his ability to go to his strong side, using the defender, using the sideline out of bounds as an extra defender. You know, keeping a guy to hesitate long enough for you to get a couple of your teammates in to box them in. Okay? This is what should be going on. But that's not what's going on. We play too much zone, and we throw the ball when we shouldn't. One play that gets criticized a lot is this David Njoku end around that they pulled. And I wasn't mad at the end around per se, but I was extremely upset at the execution because David Njoku could have turned the ball upfield and got about 5 or 6 yards off that play. Instead, he tries to run to the outside and ends up losing like 4 or 5 yards. My thing is, David, you're on the same team with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Why don't you know how to run with the ball? Henry, Williams, Jackson. Our running backs coach. I'm so sorry if I messed up your last name. I'm gonna just say Stump though, because he looked like an elder god. Man, if you ever see our running backs coach, he looked like one of them video game elder guys, bro. Like, oh yeah, no, he got the power. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all don't know how to run with the ball? And I'm gonna even back up a lot of my Browns fans when they say, why didn't Anthony Shorts be the one on that play? Demetric Felton was inactive. All right. So Scully asks, do you think that Joker really worth all that paper? I do. I think as a talent, his age, his build, I think he do worth. I think he is worth that money. But you could be worth the money if your offense isn't utilizing you in the best way to your strengths. It don't matter. Example: George Kittle a dog. He been quiet all season. And a lot of this got to do with the player Jimmy Garoppolo. You know what I'm saying? So, I think him and Bridget Kobe and Njoku got a good chemistry. I think him and Amari got a pretty good chemistry. I just think the play calling should be more focused. The play should be called specifically for Chubb or for Hunt, or specifically for Amari or for Njoku. There shouldn't be a play in any time in this offense for the whole rest of the season where one of those four are the number one options on the play. You know what I'm saying? He do, bro. And like I say, it's just the utilization of it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't gonna spend my whole time on the Browns. I love my Browns. We got the Chargers coming up, right? Gridiron Thursdays will be coming around in a couple days. We really gonna get into all of that. You feel me? But I expect, and I know I said I ain't got no expectations for the whole season, but I expect the Browns to play a lot better against the Chargers. And that's another thing too. Before I get on, Cleveland, stop playing to the level of your competition. Play your game, bro. Play your game. Okay? Let's take Philly for example. Philly has an identity. Jalen Hurts gonna either run it or he gonna throw it. And when he throwing it, he either throwing it to AJ Brown or Devonta Smith. And if they ain't open, then he going to Goddard. If he ain't open, he might go to Miles Sanders out the backfield. When they run it with Miles. They bring in Bart Scott, or they run with Jalen. They know who they are. On defense, they stop the run and they force you to pass. You know this. Browns need an identity. Stop playing to the level of your competition. Play to your strengths. If the Browns just do that, they could still win 12 of the next 14 games just by doing that. All right? We're going to get off that. DeeTrynt, GameChanga Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz, streaming on multiple social platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram if you missed it live. You can catch the replays on Spotify, Anchor, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever social platform or media platform you're watching this from live, it should be a link in the chat. You know what I'm saying? If you want to come up, speak your piece, or if you got something you want to say, you can type it in, or you can come up and show your face, man. It's all love. We talk all Cleveland sports. And I got to get into these Cavs a little bit. Now, concerning news, not troubling, not worrisome, just concerning. Evan Mobley will not play in the preseason. He is out for a week or two with a right sprained ankle he suffered during practice. It didn't seem like nothing serious from everything I done read. It's just mostly about precaution, which is understandable because he is going to be a main force for this team in this upcoming season. I watched a few NBA preseason games. It's a lot of guys that came back. Hey, the NBA gonna be fucking lit. This year, the NBA gonna be so lit, bro. And the Cavs gonna be in the mix. All right. I want to say our backcourt is probably going to average close to 50 points a game. Close to 50 points and probably closer to 20 assists than people realize. That backcourt gonna get at least 15 assists a night. And when they ain't getting assists, Evan Mobley can pass, Jared Allen can pass, and we gonna see who play this starting small forward role. But these Cavs gonna be a problem. Evan Mobley is picked by majority of the league to have a breakout season. He's been playing all summer. Evan Mobley then got bigger. He came in at he's like 7 feet, 215, 220. He looked like he about 230 now. 228, 230 now. Muscle. Muscle. He looks strong. His form is looking better. It's looking more fluid. He ain't got it all the way there, but it's looking more fluid. All right. His IQ is outstanding. So him and Jared Allen is going to benefit so much from Garland and Donovan Mitchell. And the guy that I'm really hoping really explodes from game one throughout the entire season is Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert coming off as a 6'6" guard, coming behind Garland and Mitchell. I mean, right now we not sure if that's how that's gonna work. I can't say that's definitely how that's gonna work, just to put the disclaimer out. But I feel like that plays to the strength of the team. It's just gonna depend on who starts at the three. Dean Wade just got the extension, 3 years, $18 million, $6 million a year. And this is significant because Dean Wade was an undrafted guy that we've developed in our system, in this cap system for the last 4 seasons. And look where he at. Now, Dean Wade is deceptively athletic. He can get up. He can move his feet. He got some nice foot speed. He can stretch stretch the court. He can hit from long range, right? And he's also like 6'9", 6'10". So, I didn't think it was possible for him to be able to start, even though that's through history of the Cavs since he's been on the team. When we ain't had a three, he's usually the first person to start. But this year, it's just gonna be about him being a consistent threat from long range, on top of still be able to be the defender he is. And that's the guy we're gonna have to put on big wings and things like that. Let him soak up fouls. And that's cool because you bring in Lamar Stevens behind him, Karis LeVert or Isaac Okoro behind him. So, the Cavs got a really deep team. Even as is. I don't think they need to make any trades. It's this Jay Crowder thing. Let's speak on this. Mr. Altman, I am so humbly asking that you do not bring Jay Crowder on this team. Jay Crowder is a locker room cancer, a little bit. He's not the type of guy that's going to come in and explode and mess everything up, but he's not the type of guy that's going to help build the culture. He's just a role player. I think he's a misused role player, but he's just a role player. And if I got to choose between Chetty and Jay Crowder, I'm just going to still choose Chetty because Jay Crowder going to feel like he should start or he should get significant minutes. And on this team, you're going to be the role player that you are. I don't think we need him. I don't think there's no purpose for him on this squad. We don't need nothing from him. All right. I wish they just pick some better people to go after. I seen something about bringing Aaron Gordon over from Denver, but he just signed like a 2-year extension on like 20-something million, 26 million. We not doing it. We not doing it. We thought about trading for Andrew Wiggins. We're not doing it. We're going to stay as is, and they're going to be good as is. The Cavs right now, I got them slated as the 6. They could jump. I think they can get anywhere between 3 to 6. It's not impossible that they can get 1. But looking at that Brooklyn team, I think Brooklyn is the team to beat in the East this year. Now, they wasn't my number 1 team at first, but knowing that Ben, Kyrie, and KD gonna play, with Royce and Joe Harris gonna play, I like the 2-1-6. Scully say I like the 2-1-6 squad this year. But you think them Cavs gonna get at them 6s? Because we going for 60. Did he say Philly was going for 60 wins? Scully, before I answer this question, let me ask you, bro, which James Harden you expecting to show up this year? Which James Harden you think is going to be active this year? Is it the one from the last couple seasons or the one from his MVP season? Which one? Because if MVP James Harden shows up, I still think 60 wins is a stretch because the East is so good. But, it ain't totally impossible. If I got to give Philly a prediction on wins, they're going to be around 50. Matter of fact, the top 6 teams in the East, seeding-wise, is probably going to be separated by 4 games or less. Like, I could literally see the top seed in the East having like 55 wins and the 6th seed having like 51. I literally could see that. For Philly, per se, who is your starting lineup? You know what I'm saying? Because this Cavs starting lineup is going to eat your food, finish your food. This Cavs team going to eat. And they going to be rough and physical. And that's going to be something different for the league to have to deal with. This Cavs team going to be physical. They're going to play real physical. And they got multiple ball handlers who can get it off the bounce. They got guys who can finish from guys creating off the bounce. Like I say, this backcourt can average somewhere around like 48 and 15 as far as points and assists. But I said the backcourt. But I meant the backcourt. But the front court with Evan and Jared, they could average like 35 and 20. Okay? If you get in 78, 80 points, 20 plus rebounds, 15 plus assists, just from 4 starters, that's 15 people on the roster. At least 8 or 9 play. When you can do that and still come off with a Karras, eventually a Rubio, or whoever else, Kevin Love, but you put yourself in a nice position to make some noise, to really do some things, to make things happen. So I don't have expectations for the Cavs, but that they're not going to suck. I don't expect them to suck no way whatsoever. I'm just worried about health and how long it takes them to catch rhythm and chemistry as a team. Right? DeeTrynt, GameChanga Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz, streaming on multiple media platforms, you know what I'm saying? YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. If you missed the live cast, you can definitely catch a replay on Anchor, Spotify, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, things like that. Make sure you follow the InDaStreetzSportz website. As you see it on the bottom of the screen, you see the at InDaStreetzSportz. If you just throw the .com on there and take away the at, you'll get right to the website. Beautiful articles that you can find on local sports teams. You can find them on major league sports teams. You can find them on all type of sports. The old man triple double. He finished on that MVP level. It's possible. You know who I think gonna have a breakout season? And this is probably an unpopular opinion. You know who I think gonna have a breakout season? And it's crazy that you would call a former MVP a breakout. Or let's say a comeback season. Even though he didn't really miss that much time. It's Russell Westbrook. I think Russell ups his game this year. And I think the Lakers going to be more of a threat than people giving them credit for right now. But I think Cleveland fans, the Cavs could host 2 playoff series this year. I think they're going to host at least one. They could host 2. We gonna see how it play out and how it works though. We gonna definitely check that out. Um, Look, it's been a pleasure rocking with y'all. I wanted to get up here and talk a little bit of Cleveland sports. Um, I definitely want y'all to follow those Cleveland Guardians though. That baseball team, they making a lot of noise, y'all. We need to have Progressive Field rocking. We need to let everybody know that we behind this team. You know what I'm saying? And they gonna do they gonna do their thing. Feel me? It's been a pleasure rocking with y'all. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Feel free to share, like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Leave your feedback if you got topics and teams that you just want us to specifically cover. Feel free to either come on the stream and bring the topic, or just hit me up and send it to me. You know what I'm saying? We'll air it out. There ain't no thing. That's right. Scully say we eating. Man, it's been a pleasure rocking with y'all. DeeTrynt, GameChanga Sports Talk, Industry Sports, man. We're going to catch y'all on the next run back. Y'all stay good. Yeah.